Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Quite often when we see someone struggling with their mental well-being, they ask a fundamental question, and that's, am I lacking in my faith? 1 in 4 people in the UK are reported to struggle with their mental health, and 1 in 8 worldwide, with more women reported to be struggling than men. And these numbers may be a lot higher because we know that so many people still suffer in silence. So even with these conservative numbers, every single one of us will either have experienced mental health struggles or know someone close to us who has or is struggling. Most commonly, we see things like anxiety, depression, OCD, or even more severe symptoms like suicidal thoughts. Something really important that we must all remember is that although there are certainly some protective factors, such as having family or faith or religion, these are not by any way immunity to mental health struggles. For some people who have never struggled with mental health, they may see it as a form of weakness or a lack of faith, and that's certainly not true. Emotions are normal human feelings and they have energy. They can impact us in profound ways and come at any time. And for so many, it may seem unclear to them why or how they come to be feeling what they are feeling or going through what they're going through. So many factors can impact our chances of struggling with mental health, such as family upbringing, life experiences or traumas, or even personality types. The impact of traumatic experience will affect different people differently. But what's important to remember is that all of those emotions that the person is feeling are real to them. And we should never belittle someone's experience or someone's feeling. As Muslims, we can turn to the Quran and realize that Allah teaches us so much about well-being and emotions through the stories in the Quran. When we look at the story of Prophet Yaqub, we begin to understand the immense feeling of grief, such that it made him blind. When we look at the story of Sayyida Maryam, who's a model to us all, and we learn what she says when she is birthing Prophet Isa or Jesus alayhi salam, she says, I wish I was dead before this. When we look at the story of Prophet Musa and the fear that he felt at different stages of the mission that he had in facing Fir'aun, he says, قال ربي إني أخاف أن يكذبون ويضيق صدري ولا ينطلق لساني فأرسل إلى هارون ولهم علي ذنب فأخاف أن يقتلون. O my Lord, surely I fear that they will reject me or not believe what they are saying. And my chest tightens and my tongue is not eloquent. Therefore send for Harun or Aaron to help me. And they have a crime against me. Therefore I fear that they may slay me. Or when we look at the story of our own beloved Prophet and the pain and hurt that he went through at different stages of his life. For example, when Allah says in the Quran, وَلَقَدْ نَعْلَمُ أَنَّكَ يَضِيقُ صَدْرُكَ بِمَا يَقُولُونَ. And this wasn't even about himself, but rather it was the pain that he felt when the mushrikeen or the non-believers spoke with their words of shirk. Allah says, we certainly know that your chest is tightened by what they say. And all of these feelings from all of these stories and so much more tells us that we are all human. They're all human feelings. But what the Quran teaches us is that they are powerful. These feelings are powerful, but we are also created in a powerful way to take action and not allow those emotions to lead us away from our fitrah or our purpose. So when we look at those stories that we mentioned in the Quran, what do we see? How did these prophets and those people react? We see that Prophet Yaqub stayed faithful and strong despite his grief. And he said, قال إنما أشكو بثي وحزني إلى الله وأعلم من الله ما لا تعلمون. I only complain of my suffering and my grief to Allah, and I know from Allah that which you do not know. He knew, he had full faith that Allah knows best and in what Allah's plan is. We see the story of Maryam, Sayyida Maryam. She didn't hide away, but rather picked up her son and went to face the people that she feared because of their judgment maybe towards her. But she had that trust in Allah that He will reveal to them the truth of her pure character. And when we look at Musa, despite the fear and the stammer in his speech, Prophet Musa didn't shy away from his mission or his purpose, and was not scared of asking for help as well when he needed it for his brother to join him on the mission. And what he did was he remained strong, and he went ahead and he saved Bani Israel from Fir'aun. And even at the point where he was in front of the sea and the army of Fir'aun were behind him, we see that Bani Israel gave up at that point. They lost faith. They said, "What have you done to us? That we will die." They thought they will die at the stage. But Prophet Musa held strong to his faith. He said, "Inna ma'i Rabbi sayahdin," that my Lord is with me and He will guide me. So he didn't fear the situation, didn't give up on it, but he also didn't fear asking for help. So we learn from that asking for help isn't a sign of weakness, but rather a sign of strength to grow in our faith and also to fulfill a mission. Looking through the Quran, we also know that while all these emotions are felt and that they are real, but Allah also teaches us techniques of self-help in the Quran. The first one, we'll mention 5 here that are mentioned in the Quran. Inshallah, there are so many more that you can touch on. Number 1 is dhikr. Constant dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, be it from general tafakkur or salah. The dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala connects us with infinite power and eternal hope. It connects us with the only one, Allah, who can help us in any struggle that we may face. He's the one that created us, and He will heal us and guide us. All we need to do is turn to Him and connect with Him, inshallah. Number 2, and that's shukr or gratitude. What shukr does, it expands our mindset to an abundance one. The one that notices and feels what we have already in our life, rather than being focused on a scarcity mindset that just focuses on what we may lack. Practical gratitude goes even further, which is striving to use all the blessings and the ni'am that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us to worship Him and serve Him through them. And so rather than submitting to our feelings that are maybe keeping us down, practical shukr allows us to get up, to serve and to grow and have a more positive, inshallah, and practical mindset. The third one is sujood. Du'as and sujood. When Allah speaks of His Prophet Muhammad, and He said, as we mentioned earlier, وَلَقَدْ نَعْلَمُ أَنَّكَ يَضِيقُ صَدْرُكَ بِمَا يَقُولُونَ, Allah straight away gives the remedy for that. And He says, فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ وَكُنْ مِنَ السَّاجِدِينَ. Do tasbih and sujood. And what that does, it grounds us to where we are and where we are going, and inshallah, and that's to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The fourth one is wudu or ghusl. Doing those mindfully, we can visualize ourselves washing away our doubts, our fears, sins, shortcomings, and connecting more with the purity of our soul and the fitrah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. And the fifth one is self-worth through affirmations or connecting to purpose. Allah created us with a purpose and with our unique skills and ability, and Allah wants to see us value ourselves and use the skills that He has given us in a meaningful way. So positive, meaningful, God-centric affirmations allows us to connect to Him and start living a more meaningful life of service, rather than being distracted by our own thoughts or superficial adornments of this dunya. And remember, lastly, that strength comes sometimes from asking for help. That these self-help strategies are there, but when we need to, we are a community where we can rely on each other. And we must choose to get better rather than suffer in silence. And so, inshallah, for anyone who is struggling, inshallah, this has helped. And inshallah, it's giving you hope and belief that you can and you will get better. Just strive and turn to Allah. Du'uni astajib lakum. Inshallah, Allah is with you and He will guide you to heal.